We're flying over the north end of the island of Mallorca, the largest island of the Balearic Islands. From Barcelona, we're headed for Palma, the largest city and capital of the Balearic Islands. In 2018, almost 30 million passengers passed through Palma Airport, many on vacation charters to and from Germany, UK, and mainland Spain. We start our exploration of Palma in the oldest part of the city. We enter the King's Garden through an arch with the coat of arms of Palma. Above us looms the Almuthina Palace. The current palace dates from 1309, but the site was a Muslim citadel from 902 to 1229 and a Roman fortification 1,000 years before that. One of the few structures left over from the Arab period is this 12th century arch, which once protected the private dock of the palace. Today there are 3 large cruise ships in, and the city is crowded. Facing the palace is the Cathedral of Palma. Construction began around 1300, and it was completed in 1601. The portal of the main facade is the only part of the facade to survive the earthquake of 1851. It was rebuilt in a neo-Gothic style starting in 1852. At the end of the 19th century, the bishop decided that the cathedral's interior needed modernization. He engaged Antoni Gaudí, a master of the Modernismo movement, the Catalan version of Art Nouveau. We can see Gaudí's designs today in the candelabras around the columns and in the baldachin over the altar. Gaudí also added more stained glass windows. In keeping with the tradition of progressive architecture, a contemporary chapel has been installed by Miguel Barceló from 2001 to 2006. The representation of the miracle of Jesus multiplying the loaves and fishes is at least as controversial as Gaudí's work. One last view of the cathedral's bell tower, and we set off for a walk through the old town. A lot of interesting details as we walk to the restaurant for lunch. We have arrived at the main square of Palma. This is City Hall. And of course there's a Starbucks. And Hotel Mama, our destination for lunch. Then we head for the rugged interior of Mallorca with its picturesque villages. La Residencia will be our home for 2 nights. The hotel looks like it's been part of the village for 100 years. I think this will make do for a couple of nights. It seems like it's always time to eat again, and the food is so pretty, it's hard to resist. This morning we're walking the Cami de Pintors, or Path of the Painters. It seems well named, with many vistas worthy of a painting, or at least a picture. The path ends at Deià. We were planning on having lunch here, but the weather's turned, the wind has picked up, and the rain is soon to follow. Just time to photograph a couple of interesting doors, then it's back to the hotel for lunch. In the afternoon, we're exploring Valldemossa. This is the way it looked yesterday as we drove past. Now the heavy rains are making the picture impossible. We hurry to get inside the 14th century monastery. It was originally built in 1309 as a palace for King Sancho. In 1399, King Martin of Aragon granted the palace to the Carthusian monks for a monastery. In 1835, the monks were forced to leave and the monastery passed to private ownership and was converted into a stately home for Mallorcan nobility. The monks maintained a pharmacy, and after the monks were expelled, the villagers asked that the pharmacy remain. Musician and composer Frédéric Chopin and writer George Sand spent the winter of 1838-39 as guests here. Chopin composed his Preludes Opus 28, and Sand wrote A Winter in Mallorca. There's a small museum in cell number 4, memorializing their time in Mallorca. The rain lets up a little, and we decide to chance it and walk to a restaurant in Deià. The next morning, the rain's passed, and it's a beautiful day as we pass Valldemossa on the way to the airport. We find our airplane and are on our way to our next island of the Mediterranean.